Hey all, I'm about to start the episode like I always do. Not enough prep, let's just get right into it. Today, random Bible passages will be incorporated into the episode, and the topic is let's find out right here now in this moment. I don't know yet. I need something good for a thumbnail, so. Hey, it's me pointing at Bible passages. That one's not actually going to be in the show, but makes for a good thumbnail. All right, friends, let's kick this off. Now, how good is this book really? This is the theme song part. I'm sorry you don't ever get to hear the theme song in these, but for ease of whatever. Okay. The show's really starting now. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 65. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert will undergo a second coming later in the show, but first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. You know what? If you put up a Fix My Carcast sticker somewhere in your neighborhood, eventually people will be like, what's that? And they'll listen to the show. And then they'll stop listening to it. But still, cool sticker. No new donors this week. The total raise for paying off my car repair debt is holding at $1,301. Also, when we get to $2,000, we unlock an automatic show gimmick, which is I will watch all the Fast and Furious movies back to back and then record my podcast at the end. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $3,000? No big finale with jugglers and contortionists. Not that jugglers and contortionists are a good get for an audio show, but what the hell? If you're a juggler or a contortionist, hit me up. We will get you on the show. That's not a joke, even though I am recording this on April 1st. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want a 3-minute drum solo in the middle? For $50, I literally cannot stop you. No new patrons this week. Hey, did you know that we don't have a single patron named Eve? Weird. If any person named Eve or Eva or Evelyn or Yvette or Event Horizon joins my Patreon by the time the next episode is recorded, I will title that episode The Best Protein Powder for Mad Gains, regardless of the episode topic. Come on, Eves. Pump me up. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly, I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is the prank I left behind at an old job in 2019 that to this day has still not been discovered. It's in plain sight. You can go look at it right now, and nobody has contacted me about it yet, so I'm assuming they still don't know. What could it be? Sponsor an episode and find out. I'll have to stop using them as a reference after they find it. Checking in on the best city in the world based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and we've got a 4-way tie between Biddeford, Maine, Westbrook, Maine, Providence, Rhode Island, and New York City. Ties are broken by whichever city listened to the most episodes, and our big winner is once again Biddeford, Maine. Congratulations, Biddeford, Maine. Let it be known that your Mar Saba Monastery, Solomon's Pools, and Milk Grotto Church are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I had to review the 100 Gex album 10,000 Gex while imitating the vocal stylings of the B-52s. You can see video of me taking huge pauses while I figure out which syllables I should shout over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about my own personal experiences with appreciating music. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are, number 1, stuff my face with marshmallows. Number 2, do it like a poetry slam. Number 3, do a Rocky Balboa voice. And number 4, put on a cave echo effect. There are no returning gimmicks because y'all still ain't voting. You were doing good there for a while, but then you stopped. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, April 6th at noon Eastern America time. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is incorporate 10 random Bible verses. Ground rules. I tested a few random Bible verse generators ahead of time because some only play the hits. The one I'm using today serves up any and all Bible verses, regardless of how inspirational they are. We better get at least one about how to build a tabernacle. Also, I won't be telling you books, chapters, or verses, so it's like a little bonus trivia game if you're a true fan of this wildly popular book. And of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way, in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the gimmick zone, which isn't really that different because I don't have a Bible verse up yet. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. There is no sponsored topic for today's episode. The streak has been broken. So, new podcast rule. Whenever there's no sponsored topic, I'm going to hit random page on Wikipedia for inspiration. So, today's topic, which I am discovering at this very moment, is Loge. L-O-G-E, Loge. This could refer to many things. Well, Random Page has done us dirty and gave us something that can be multiple things. But you know what? That's good. That means I have multiple things to talk about, whatever Loge or Logue is. So here we go, talking about Loge while also incorporating random Bible verses. And I apologize to our video viewers, but I'm going to have to be looking at the screen for this one. So not a lot of eye contact, if that matters a lot to you in your podcasts. So all right, Loge, if you're watching the video version, you can see all the information on the screen. What the heck is it? Am I even pronouncing it right? Well, for starters, apparently, it could be, I cannot pronounce any of this, Loge Fougeroux, a village and municipality in the Vendée department of France. Department? All right, I'm already learning so much. And now I am about to activate the random Bible verse generator. Oh, what a doohickey. Now, see, I don't, Department of France, what is that? That feels very clandestine. That feels like people aren't allowed there. And, you know, I think we all should be welcomed. You know, why, if others have this right of support from you, shouldn't we have it all the more? But we did not use this right. On the contrary, we put up with anything rather than hinder the gospel of Christ. And we don't want to be hindering that in France because they need Jesus. Let me tell you what. There's a lot of France stuff here. So there's La Loge Pas de Calais, a municipality in the Pas de Calais department of France. La Loge Pomblin, a municipality in the Aube department of France. La Loge aux Chèvres, a municipality in the Aube department of France. And small trading stations of French India. Okay, well, I'm learning so much today. Mainly that France has departments. And you know, I gotta talk to whoever's running France because I gotta learn about all these departments. If there's a long pause, it's a hard verse to work into the show. Let me tell you what. Who even runs France? I'm not smart. Macron? Is it still Macron? Do people like him? Well, then the Jews said, see how he loved him. But I don't know who loved him. So we'll see. Let's see what some of these other uses are. Here we go. Loge is a natural satellite of Saturn. It's a moon. Now that's pretty cool. I don't know the names of all of Saturn's moons. You know, they're you know, this may shock you to hear. I've never been down to the surface of Saturn. Hasn't happened. You know, I mean, I had a chance with NASA. I could have worked there. They even gave me this mission once. They said, so get up and go downstairs. Do not hesitate to go with them, for I have sent them. And that's what my mission commander said. But ultimately, they declared that I wasn't fit for the mission. So there you go. I will never get to see Loge, the moon of Saturn. Wait, Loki? Oh, Loge is German for Loki. Okay, what a little trickster. Well, man, at least I got something that gives me a lot to talk about. Loki's a god, right? Not a lord. I heard a rumor that the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, end of quotes. I have no idea how much truth that is. Also, this generator has way too many ads. But yeah, so Loki, a minor god in Norse mythology and a major god in the Marvel universe, who ultimately helps and opposes the other gods. Okay, so Loge is kind of a punk. That's cool. Swedish is also Loge. Logi. The personification of fire in Norse mythology. There we go. That's pretty badass. There's a lot of going to see people in the Bible. Let me tell you what. So yeah, okay. So I'm guessing. I don't know. Considering I'm talking the Bible today, I don't know how much all this Swedish and German. I don't know how all this Norse mythology is going to tie in. Like, I know that sometimes, mythological figures hang out together. I know that one day the angels came to prevent themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. And, you never know who's going to show up when you're having a mythological meeting of the gods. Loge is apparently also a character in Richard Wagner's Der Ring des Nibelungen that synthesizes both Loki and Logi. So Loge is a combination of Loki and Logi. Okay, that's interesting. And this is something written by Wagner, who I think was a shithead in real life, but made a lot of music. I know they don't mean synthesizes in the sense of synthesizer, but that would at least be cool. I dabble a little in classical music. I don't know a ton about it. Or is this opera? I don't know. See, I haven't really. This is the first time I'm doing the Wikipedia thing, so I don't know. I don't know if I should click through here. I'll have to lay down some official rules on how deep into Wikipedia I can go. But let me tell you, I think the podcast is going great so far, don't you? Why, I think then you and the Levites and the foreigners residing among you shall rejoice in all the good things the Lord your God has given to you and your household. And that's right, God's looking out for you by giving you this podcast, something to just be a ray of sunshine in your silly little life. And you know what else makes you happy? Art. L'Loge. An 1874 painting by Pierre-Auguste Renoir, also known as the Theater Box. Okay. Man, the word loge can mean a lot of things. That's good. I like when words are versatile. Oh, man. None of these are inspirational. A box theater, also known as a loge. So let me get this straight. Loge is a moon, a god from Norse mythology. A bunch of places in France. I'm guessing loge probably means something in French. And it's also a box theater. And now we've reached the end of the Wikipedia page. This is, this being a disambiguation page. So I'm going to say I'm free to start clicking around because I got nothing to vamp on if I don't know what any of these things are. And it's tough when you reach the end. Why, that reminds me of a story. When they reached the district of Zuf, Saul said to the servant who was with him, "Come, let's go back, or my father will stop thinking about the donkeys and start worrying about us." That is too true. At the end of the day, minor details like donkeys don't matter. It's the major details, like the people that you love. So let's try to tie this into the people that I care about. And mostly what I can recommend is reading mythology or going to France or going to the theater. So you know what? Challenge to you. Maybe this will be the 100th episode of this show. Let's not get to 100 episodes. Get to those donations. Let's go to Loge Fougerouse and watch a play about Loki on Saturn in a box theater. How does that sound? Does that sound fun to all of you? Random note, my favorite Bible passage of all time, which I will not reveal in this episode, but maybe stick around for the bonus episode, is also about donkeys. See if you can guess which one it is. If we get it based on complete random, I will end the episode. I can't do that though, because then I haven't committed to the gimmick. Okay, well, we've got 3 left. So here's the deal. Of all these things, I think I'm a theater nerd and a space nerd the most. So I'm going to learn more about Loge, the moon of Saturn. It's also called Saturn XLVI, which, as you know, means 100 and LVI. Its discovery was announced by Scott Shepard, David Jewett, Jan Klena, and Brian Marsden. They all have middle initials, and I don't know why I skipped them. I don't know. Weird thing for me to do. But, that's the thing, with all these scientists, I mean, they were piled into heaps and the land reeked of them. Let me tell you what. Some of those scientists got to get a shower in. That's all I'm saying. Oh, wow. This is a fairly recent discovery. Interesting. So Loge was named in 2007, April 2007. This is a new moon. Isn't that one of the Twilight sequels? I'm not going to talk about Twilight, but that's genuinely fascinating. I love learning stuff while making my silly little podcast. And knowledge is power. Am I right, kids? All right, so Loge is, 6 kilometers in diameter? That's a tiny moon. That's an itty-bitty moon. That's fascinating. Oh, man. All right, well, I'm glad I'm learning. It's a very short page about Loge. How many satellites does Saturn have? I feel like I can't do that. I have to go back to the original page of what we're talking about. And, what next? Well, then Jehoshaphat stood up in the assembly of Judah and Jerusalem at the temple of the Lord in the front of the new courtyard. And isn't that kind of what this is like? New discoveries, new courtyards, new wondrous opportunities to discover things about this amazing universe of ours. I think that quote really resonates with all of us here today. I kind of want to know more about this theater box painting, though. I wonder if it's one that I'm familiar with. Oh, wow. Well, hey, if you're paying for the video version, this is a nice little painting. Looks like a couple of fancy folks off to the theater, and looks like a rather bosomly lady enjoying her seat, and a fella looking up with some opera goggle glasses, whatever. Yeah, that's a nice little painting. I'm a fan of it. I'm just so stricken with emotion that in this moment I just want to sing to God, sing in praise of his name, extol him who rides on the clouds, rejoice before him. His name is the Lord. Oh boy. I feel so renewed. I feel so invigorated by all that is in the world. What a beautiful world we live in, where we have La Loge, the 1874 oil painting by Pierre-Auguste Renoir, depicting a young couple in a box at the Paris Theater. The woman was modeled by Nini Lopez, Renoir's new model, who would feature in 14 of his paintings. The man was his brother Edmund, a journalist and art critic. Well, that's pretty cool. We've had some good La Loge here. Friends, I'm not going to lie, I have completed the gimmick portion of the episode, rather clunkily, but I have done it. So now we're just kind of in extra innings. I want to learn more about Logi and how he's different from Loki. Logi, or Ha-Logi, High Flame, is a Jotun and the personification of fire in Norse mythology. He is a son of the Jotun Fornjotr. Oh boy, my apologies to all the Norse, because I am fucking this up. Generally translated as fire, flame, blaze. It was also used in poetry as a synonym of sword and blade. Loge is badass here. Even more so than Robert Loggia, who was not included on the disambiguation, but I think it's worth noting that some people call him the Loge for short. Sorry my face isn't in frame, folks, but it's kind of an awkward positioning here so you can see the screen. Okay, well, I feel like this was a nice dive into the Loge. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope you've enjoyed the Bible verses. I'm always worried I lost count, so maybe we should just do a random one to go out on. As always, I have strayed like a lot. Ahem. As always, I have strayed like a lost sheep. Seek your servant, for I have not forgotten your commands. Woo! I hate when I trip over my words on the last line. It's like the one part you want to nail. Ugh, sucks when you don't nail it. Why did that trip me up so much? I have strayed. I think I was reading this as lot. I have strayed like a lot sheep. Wait a minute. Oops, yeah. All right, well, Psalms 119, 176. Typically when I have to sneak things into the show, I do a supercut so you can see all the verses, but I think it's going to be pretty obvious when I'm quoting a Bible verse because they were all really clunky ones. Not a lot of quick, zingy ones. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully we get a donor next week. Though I did learn a lot about Loge, so that's cool.